Miraculous Ladybug, or Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, or just Miraculous, or just Ladybug. Hey, next time we import a show, can we keep the original title? It makes things so much easier. Anyway, the show's about an awkward teenage girl who lives in Paris, but when evil strikes, she dons the mantle of the Ladybug. You know, the most ferocious creature in the animal kingdom. Look at it! Plotting your downfall as we speak. Fear it! Fear the Ladybug! She has a partner, I guess, a boy from her school with cat powers called Cat Noir. I guess he's like if Catwoman and Nightwing had a son. Which they may have in some obscure comic I don't know about, and will be yelled at because I don't know that. You know, this show has a lot of teenagers in tight spandex, as well as a young teenage boy with cat ears. God, DeviantArt is gonna have a field day. The villain for the series is Hawkmoth, some weird, creepy guy that I guess lives in an attic. By the way, it's his dad. It's Cat Noir's dad. There's no way it's not his. I'm calling it right now. That's his dad. He actually reminded me of something and I couldn't quite place it, and I just realized he looks like Bible Man. If you don't know what Bible Man is, look it up. It's hilarious. So, if you've ever seen the original season of Power Rangers, you kind of know how this kind of thing goes down. So basically, some random person that they run into is having some kind of issue, and then Hawkmoth will be like, "Oh, you're having trouble with pigeons or something. Here's some evil powers, now you're Pigeon Man," or something like that. "You have a bubble blowing thing for some reason, now you're Bubble Man. Ooh, and now you go wreak havoc on the world." See, my first problem with this show is that there wasn't really an origin episode, or at least not in the run that I saw. I know there were quite a few episodes of this out, but it just recently started airing in the US, and I've only seen about 3. But still, you gotta have some kind of establishing episode as your first episode, especially when you throw weird stuff at us like this. So they get their powers from these little fairy creatures, I guess, that transform them into superheroes. Like, where did they come from? Why are they the ones that have the powers? How come that no one else has powers? There has to be more of these things, right? You'd think that they'd say something. I mean, there can't just be 2 of them. Why does Hawkmoth want their powers so badly? I mean, does he really want the power of Ladybug and Cat Person? Apparently Ladybug and Cat Noir don't know each other's identity either, even though they both go to school together and know each other in their real life, and you'd think that they'd actually, even if they didn't know their own identities, would be able to recognize each other because they both have distinctive hairstyles, plus they use their regular speaking voices. She likes him, but is too awkward and shy to talk to him. But when they transform, the roles are completely reversed. He likes her, but she doesn't want any of it. I also gotta mention, the show gets very touchy-feely. Like, when they're transformed together, Cat Noir is always trying to get a kiss from Ladybug, but she's all like, eh. And then in school, there was this one girl who just straight up ran up to this guy and started making out with him, and he was like, "No, get away from me." And there's a lot of tumbling around, and spandex and tight clothes and underage characters. Hey, who is this show made for again? Girls? Or some other demographic? Alright, I better say something good about this show before the fans come after me. I liked when they were actually fighting the villains. It was pretty cool. Very well animated, too. Very well detailed show, too. That's not very common for a TV CGI show. I thought Ladybug's powers were a little interesting, too. I mean, I guess when you use a creature like a ladybug, you kind of have to get creative. She has a yo-yo that she can fling, and she kind of swings on it like Spider-Man. She also has this other weird power where her thing will transform into something that they need to win the fight, and it's usually just some random object like a wrench or a washcloth. It does end up being useful in the end, and I did find it kind of interesting, but I feel like maybe, I don't know, turn into a gun or something, or I don't know, just, it seems kind of needlessly complicated for a show like this. It could have been passable if at least they had an origin story or something that explain, but you can't just start a series with all this weird stuff and not give us any information. It's too it's too hard to comprehend. Unfortunately, I didn't really enjoy the show too much. I was kind of hopeful for it because I know a lot of people were talking about it. I knew some people who were anxiously awaiting its premiere. Plus, it's on Nickelodeon, and I was hoping that they would actually get something good. But there were too many questions and too many weird, uncomfortable moments. You know, it's a pity. I usually like cartoons from France. Guess you can't win them all. Well, that's all I got for the Miraculous Ladybug, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of it. My name is Rob, and have a wonderful day.